Next up, Russ and I are going to cover Blue news from your favorite studios, Arrow, Scream Factory, and Vinegar Syndrome. Welcome back, everyone, to 4K Kings. I am Matt.
I am Russ.
And thank you again for joining us at the #1 physical media channel on YouTube. Thank you, everyone, for the great honor and bestowing that upon us.
We're not only #1, but we're number 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Thanks for joining the 4K Kings one more time. We are going to be covering some Blue news today from Arrow, from Scream Factory, and from Vinegar Syndrome. But before we jump into that, Russ, I thought we would cover a quick Superman 5-film collection update. The news just keeps trickling out. At the time when we talked about it last, we talked about the big Steelbook box set. But now, one last piece of information has finally come out. I believe this is the final update to get everyone pumped to buy what could be the biggest and best collection of 2023.
Who is this imbecile?
We covered the Steelbook collection last time. Now, the regular collection has been announced. For now, you cannot buy any singles in the US.
Sorry, beg your pardon?
Not of the regulars and not of the Steelbooks. You can only buy the box sets in the US. Excluding Superman the movie, which has already come out on a single 4K, you can buy that all day long. But if you want the Donner cut, if you want 3 or 4, God help you, you can't get that in the US, which they have on Amazon UK, they've got on Zavvi. You can easily get them. 4Ks are region free. So have at it. But for the US, you can only get them in this box set.
You're a real pain in the neck.
So let's talk about the details that have finally come out too, because we didn't really have any details about the restorations or the features or really anything else at the time. So it looks like all of the films are getting a 4K restoration and Dolby Atmos. Now, Superman Dolby Vision, while the others are just getting HDR10, Superman the movie is also receiving the original theatrical audio mix, which was not present in the standalone 4K. So if you own that and you're some kind of purist that wants the original theatrical audio mix, you've got to buy this box set to get it. So once again, Warner Brothers is really appreciating their fans. This box set previously had come out on DVD. We shared that too. There was like a Blu-ray one, a DVD one. However, based on what I'm reading here, the box set here contains less features than the DVD box set did.
Sorry, beg your pardon?
So if you own that and you were expecting all that to get ported over to the 4K, you're not. And if you buy this 4K box set thinking you're going to get everything that came out from before, you're not. So that's kind of lousy. We haven't covered one positive Warner Brothers story yet, I feel like.
You're right.
The only reason you would get this box set is if you wanted 3 and 4 desperately. If you only wanted 1 and 2, what I would do is I would buy the first one from the US and then go over to Amazon UK and buy the solo Donner cut #2 that has the original and the Donner cut included, and then just be done with it. Them not doing Dolby Vision on some of these leaves the door open for them to release it again with Dolby Vision. I've seen that a couple of times. It's not like a widespread thing, but again, it does leave that door open. So that's your Superman update. Not really great news. I don't know how anyone else feels. Let us know what you think. If you're getting the Steelbook box set, the regular box set, just buying singles, let us know.
Get in.
Out May 22nd on 4K Ultra HD from Arrow UK only is Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. And this was released by Arrow on Blu-ray about 3 years ago, and Criterion in Blu-ray about 12 years ago at this point. Now, this film here boasts a new 4K restoration from the original camera negative approved by Terry Gilliam, and there were sizable features on this before on the previous Blu-ray. They're all here again, and it is a lot of stuff. There was a 2006 documentary about the film on the Blu-ray, as well as a short documentary on Hunter S. Thompson that are not present here.
Sounds like real trouble.
In comparison, like you just said, to the Criterion release, it also has its own set of large and extensive features, except for like one small thing, I think, no crossover whatsoever. Considering this is UK only, and Criterion's been like on a Terry Gilliam like spree, this is maybe likely to come out in the US in 4K too. I feel like this is a very visual movie, obviously, so I'm curious to see how the 4K sort of pops with some of the imagery here. Any interest in upgrading to a 4K, especially if it's new features?
Yes. Just
All right.
like you said, it's a visual film. I'm aware of this film's flaws, and like when people criticize it, I actually agree with them. I understand what they're saying, but this film came out, I was 16. Yes, I dabbled with some of the stuff that is being dabbled with in the film, and it does have very funny parts in it.
There's someone at the door.
I did see it, and I thought it was bizarre. I didn't see it at 16. I saw it like 2 years ago for the very first time. It was a wild ride, and that's why I'm saying it's a very visual movie. I think it's a great title to be restored. It's not something that I'm like, oh, now I'm going to go rewatch this thing. I wouldn't be against rewatching it. I just feel like I don't know what I watched at parts, and I think that's kind of part of the point.
Let me ask you this. Would you be interested in watching pretty much the same movie, but Bill Murray instead of Johnny Depp, where the buffalo roam? It was like 1980 or 81, and it's Bill Murray playing like Hunter S. Thompson, pretty much the same thing Johnny Depp's doing. And it's a similar style, like he's with his lawyer and stuff like that.
I think Terry Gilliam's like the perfect person to bring that movie to life.
Oh yeah.
Just his style.
It grows on you. Yeah. It is a movie you watch it more, you understand what it is.
Yeah.
Going in cold
It's tough.
it's fucking like, what am I watching?
Yeah.
Once you know what it is and you watch it again, you understand that you're supposed to laugh in parts. You understand like what it is.
Yeah.
I forgot about the beer. You want some? How about some ether?
What?
Coming out May 23rd from Scream Factory, 4K Ultra HD, is Brotherhood of the Wolf. And unfortunately, it's just Scream doing what Scream does and putting out something that they've already done, which came out on Blu-ray 2 years ago. Ouch. Like, that stings, dude. I'm sorry. Like, if you bought this 2 years ago and then here comes the 4K, that friggin' blows.
I feel like at this point, they're only doing this practice to keep up with Kino. I think Kino is like, I'm going to put out Brotherhood of the Wolf. Look what we did to Criterion, motherfuckers.
I know. We're eating your lunch.
Oh, shit. Let's reissue this.
Kino's lawless. They're just, like, taking everybody's shit.
Oh, they are.
They don't care. At this point, you're getting a 3-disc collection. The first time it was 2. Now it's 3, basically with just the 4K thrown in there. This is a new 4K restoration of the film, approved by the director, which has already been done back in 2022 when Studio Canal released theirs. They put a French release out, which was beautiful. The only problem with that one was there was no subtitles at all. So you had to be French to watch it. That's kind of sucks unless you're a diehard and you know French or you just don't care and you want the film.
That's on you. Go out and learn a new language.
You son of a bitch.
Parleront plus jamais du Gévaudan, n'est-ce pas?
Now, from what I've read, when this movie was released theatrically, apparently the director had to have some scenes cut out. Well, apparently now that he's gotten this restoration and all this stuff, it's only the director's cut that's coming out. You're not getting the theatrical option. And there are a lot of people, again, that only know the theatrical, and some that have also seen the director's cut and say, not only does it add more time to the film, but it changes certain characters' motivations. It changes sort of the way the story plays out. And I don't like that because this is not the movie I love.
There's only a handful of director's cuts or altered variations of films that I can get behind, and they tend to be big classics.
Yeah.
To where it's interesting to see another cut. Like, I'll accept it with Blade Runner. I'll accept it with Apocalypse Now.
And the theatrical version isn't available.
That's exactly.
That
exactly.
sucks. You need, let me have a choice for Christ's sake.
Dude, I've had gripes with this in the past. Friday on Blu-ray is only the director's cut. I believe 40-Year-Old Virgin did that at one point, maybe on DVD. If it's an option, fine.
Yeah.
But come on. Why give you a different product than the people who fell in love with it? Everybody in anything has seen the theatrical first.
Yeah.
So if they're fans, they're probably fans of the theatrical. Why mess with what works?
It's hubris. It's ego. This is what my film is.
Like I said, unless it's something like Apocalypse Now, or you give me a fucking Kubrick or somebody.
Yeah.
Like,
not to mention that the director's cut clocks in at 2 hours and 31 minutes. So again,
what's the original runtime?
It's 2:23. So it's a little long to begin with, but now you're making it longer. And again, if people aren't happy with the additions, they feel like it's bloat, they feel like it changes things. It's like you're just turning everyone off. I feel like I have seen this movie. And I'm going to be honest. I don't know which version I watched. For all I know, I watched the director's cut version. But I will say that it's a very interesting film in the sense that it's like a period film, but there's crazy visuals with the costumes. There's martial arts. This is some next level type choreography that they're doing for a movie that takes place in such an early time period. So it's like a mashup in a way, which kind of works. Vincent Cassel's in it. Monica Bellucci, his wife at the time, is in it.
Now I know why you watched it.
Do you know what Mark Dacascos is?
The battle begins!
He was a guy that was in a movie called Only the Strong that played all the damn time. Brazilian capoeira fighting.
I know the cover. I know exactly what movie you're talking about.
It's like Lean On Me, except he teaches them Brazilian like kung fu.
Now I'm watching it.
And there's like a big bad guy that he has to face at the end, and he does some like super cool move to like defeat him, kind of like a Karate Kid scenario. He was also Iron Chef.
Iron Chef America.
But he's in this movie, so I always remember that, seeing him being like, hey, that's the Brazilian capoeira guy. I like the package. On the French edition, it's a big box. It's got like a booklet and all that kind of stuff. Here, you're just getting the typical Scream Factory treatment. Let us know, are you a fan of the director's cut? Do you prefer the theatrical? I really would love to watch this movie again, but again, I'm torn on what version did I watch? Am I going to pick up some piece of shit, or is this what I know anyway and don't care?
Life is tough, but Crystal can deal with it.
The sequel that we didn't know we needed, or at least I didn't even know it existed.
I own it.
Do you?
I literally picked up this Blu-ray like a year ago.
Bro, we have to talk. They're putting out Freeway II, Confessions of a Trick Baby in 4K. A new 4K restoration from the original camera negative, as well as with HDR. There's a brand new feature-length documentary over like an hour and 40 minutes or something on the making of, as well as some archival interviews, featurettes. The artwork is a spitting image of Freeway 1, just with the different characters that are in this, so I kind of like that touch. I can't wait to hear what you have to say, but let me just kick it off with this. So this is a sequel in name only. It doesn't tie in with the first one really at all, like the characters or anything. And it's coming from the same writer-director, Matthew Bright. And this time around, it's loosely based on Hansel and Gretel. And it sounds absolutely nuts. Can I just read what they wrote about the movie? White girl is a twisted teenage prostitute with a bad attitude and a nasty eating disorder who's been sent to the slammer for 25 years. Her cellmate, Cyclona, is equally deranged, being a vicious killer. And as like minds attract, the two are quick to form a truly twisted alliance. When the opportunity arises, White Girl and Cyclona manage to escape from the pen and embark on a non-stop orgy of violence and debauchery, all while hoping to make it across the border into Mexico in order to seek refuge with Cyclona's proxy caretaker, Sister Gomez. That alone made me go to the Wikipedia page and just read the entire story. And dude, I don't even believe what I read. Whoever typed it up, how they described it, I can't imagine what that looks like on screen. It makes me want to watch this movie once and then never probably watch it again.
Dude, for a sequel, it's in the same spirit as the original. But it's not as good.
It sounds batshit crazy based on what I read.
So is the first one.
But not to the degree that I read.
Well, I'll tell you this, as someone who's seen them both, the first one hits harder.
Maybe this is an issue you should explore.
The original Freeway feels older, and that grind to it gives it a little bit more of the skeeziness.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about, but it almost plays more comedic and over the top than the first one does. Where the shit that you're laughing at in the original Freeway still has that bite.
Maybe because when you read it, it sounds like, depending on the tone, like, holy shit, what is this movie? Because, dude, I've never read anything like that in my life.
It doesn't feel like Serbian film or anything, if that's what you're trying to get at. No, tonally, it feels softer than the original.
Are you getting this in 4K?
I probably will.
Because the Blu-ray case and stuff, I thought it looked kind of shitty.
Yeah, it did, and it was cheap. And I never thought I'd get a special edition, a 4K of Freeway 2 at the time. There wasn't even a 4K of the first Freeway when I bought Freeway 2. I just picked it up on Blu-ray because I was like, hey, I want to own that one. I like Natasha Lyonne. She has what I look for in most of my favorite actors and actresses. Nobody else can be her. Who compares to her?
Nice, tight little ass, too.
Russ, you would recommend this to the people?
When I say the original Freeway is better than Freeway 2, I'm not even saying the original Freeway is a classic or anything. Yeah. It's entertaining. It's funny. I dug it.
I don't want to call it a marketing ploy, but I will say giving this the same kind of art, it kind of almost begs you to get it too, as like a companion piece, you know?
I know. And they're smart.
Yeah.
I always thought it was strange after Orange is the New Black blew up that they didn't try to push this harder in physical media. Because, I mean, literally, you have Natasha Lyonne in jail. But here's what's interesting. I'm a much bigger fan of Natasha Lyonne than I am of Reese Witherspoon.
No way.
Personally, Freeway is probably my favorite Reese Witherspoon movie. And I think she went for the jugular in it, which makes it that much more fun. And she didn't hold back, and I give her a lot of credit on that. And Natasha Lyonne never holds back, in my opinion. Don't blind buy this. I wouldn't tell anyone to blind buy this. But if it piques your interest, check it out. You may enjoy it. You're
not going to be, disappointed with Vinegar Syndrome. You would have thought a movie like this, anyone would be able to come back and do anything for, but they always seem to manage to get something cool for their releases. So,
and I like it's the director. He's clearly passionate about his work.
He was probably like, holy shit, you want to talk to me about Freeway 2? How much time you got?
I had a sense that if I stuck with a fairy tale, something that was like hundreds of years old, maybe even thousands of years old, that I really couldn't go wrong.
Throw us a like if you enjoyed what you saw here. Let us know what you're picking up below out of any of these or anything else. Coming up soon, we'll be having our thoughts and review on Training Day. We're going to be discussing some movies we wish, and I'm sure the fans wish, would get a Blu-ray release and so much more. And we'll see you next time.